Welcome back to episode 18 of Building Our Ultimate Expedition Vehicle. In this episode, we wrap up the giant back wall closet. Last night we worked late and we got all of our drawers in. So we have 9 drawers of storage, which is insane. And today we're going to work on making all of our cabinet fronts. So we have 9 drawer fronts, a false front, 3 cabinet doors up here. And we're also going to make 2 cabinet doors for here, 1 for there, and 1 for over here.
Let's go make a lot of sawdust.
We've got all of our hopefully correct dimensions. It's time to start cutting pieces.
So we put some blind faith into the spreadsheet, cut 1 billion pieces, and hope we make the right size doors.
I went ahead with painter's tape and I numbered everything so that we'll be able to match up our finished drawer and door fronts.
So all of a sudden everything stopped. We tripped the breaker, and I think we know why now. We were in the zone with the planer, forgot to check on the vacuum. The filter is very clogged.
We bought all that wood and then we're just shaving it off. Because these 2 top drawers are so skinny, we're not going to make a shaker style panel. We're just going to do a solid slab for this one and that one over there. This Naughty Alder plywood has a really thin veneer, so I'm not using the orbital sander, I'm just hand sanding it. And then I'm also knocking all of the edges on the perimeter. That way when we go to assemble it, there's not a rough edge that wants to catch and chip out. We're using alder because it's durable, but still pretty lightweight, and it's really pretty once it's stained, but it takes stain blotchy. So I'm gonna start by using this pre-stained wood conditioner. What that does is it soaks in and really helps the top stain go on a lot more evenly so you don't end up with blotchiness. Once the wood conditioner sat for about 5 to 10 minutes, then I'm gonna go now with my early American stain and stain them.
So here we have our spreadsheet built, and whenever we cut a piece, we mark it with green. That way we don't necessarily have to go in order. We can go in whichever way optimizes the material, and we keep track and know that we've cut every piece. Little Teflon dry lube stuff goes a long ways to making the saw more slippery and the pieces go through easily. In all of our door pieces and drawer fronts, we need to cut a dado into the side of the part for the panel to slide into. So we have this blade adjusted here to cut the dado as we run these through like this. And I check to make sure it's centered like this. Run it through, flip it over. It should also slide right in. Like that. That's how you know where you're centered. So now we've got the dado cut in all of our pieces for the panel. It's time to cut this tongue in that'll fit into that dado groove like that and make our drawer fronts and our door frames. It's important to note the tongue only gets cut on the rails and not the stiles. Well, I did it, and I cut the tongue into the stile and not the rail on accident. So now I need to remake these.
So last night I worked in the dark and I got all of our bits and pieces sanded, and that is going to make assembly go a lot quicker today.
So this is the largest door in the camper, and the way that the layout worked out, we weren't going to end up with a wide enough piece of plywood to make this panel. So rather than having to buy a whole extra $100 sheet of alder plywood, I decided to add a center stile in this cabinet and use 2 pieces for the panel instead.
So I'm in here working on the cabinets, and I'm thinking that Riley thought he was pretty funny with this sticker.
Took you a while to notice it.
How long has it been in here? So this cabinet opening is where our water heater is, but we still want to trim it out so it looks good. So we built this false front, and we'll just nail this on, and then that way if we ever need to get it off, we can just pop it off.
I made this extremely clear template. So this side is for the box. This side is for the drawer. I circled the holes I'm supposed to use and I put X's on the ones I'm not. This should make it so that our latches line up perfectly every time. To open the drawers, we're using these momentary buttons that we're installing into the face of the drawer. So press the button and it releases the latch.
This is a very tedious process, and Riley has been down there working for a very long time.
But we got 1 down and 3 to go, and then after those 3 are done, then 4 to go, and then after those are done, then 2 to go, 3 to go, and then another 1 to go, and then another 1 to go. So these are the electronic latches that we're using. Basically, when you close the drawer, that little tongue catches this catch. When you hit the button, it releases it. If for some reason the electromagnet solenoid in here fails, you can also release it by clicking on this as a failsafe. The way we've wired this in, we've got power coming in here. There's the power wire going to the electromagnet. The power continues on to the next drawer, and then we're switching the ground. So this wire comes over and switches the ground side. So when I hit the momentary button, the latch goes off. This is a little spring plunger. There'll be a block on the side of the drawer so that when you release the latch, the spring plunger wants to push the drawer open. It works! Courtney, where is the clamp?
Sometimes Riley loses things, and by sometimes, I mean all of the time. Where was it?
Right where I left.
We were working on installing cabinet doors. It's Sunday of January? I don't know. We're getting very close to the camper being done.
It is a day that ends in day. I'm drilling the clearance holes for the concealed hinges. I've got this fancy little jig, and it works really well. I haven't wired the button on this one yet, but I closed the door and now it's locked closed. And we can't get into that cabinet to click the little manual override. So I'm gonna drill a little hole so I can put a pokey thing in there, and then we will have a way to get into this one.
I kept telling him as he was installing this latch, don't close it before you wire the button, don't close it, and then he closed it. And this is how Boone feels about the situation. Luckily, there is an easy fix.
There's a pokey thing through the hole. Got it open.
Don't close it till you wire it.
Courtney's still in the alder, and it's pretty crazy the difference from the right to the left there on the drawer faces between sealed and unsealed.
Riley is now working on installing the cabinet doors for the bed cabinets. I'm sitting here admiring the closet because it really did come out better than I thought it was going to.
This thing came out awesome.
And it's ginormous. There's so much storage. What are we gonna put in these? And I really don't know. Maybe beer? We are getting very eager to hit the road, so we've been doing a lot of working in the dark. So we're gonna cut down our closet pole in the dark.
It's kind of how our projects go. In the dark in the beginning, in the dark in the end. Courtney doesn't need no man, she films herself.
One woman show around here. I was going to buy a normal closet pole, and then we were at our local hardwood supplier, and they had this really cool oblong closet pole that takes up less space, and it's gonna work perfect. Because our closet is not full hanger depth and they weren't going to fit. And I found children's hangers. They're a few inches narrower, so we're about to see if it works. Luckily Riley has narrow shoulders. Perfect. Now we'll be able to fit way more clothes than if we'd had to put the pole the other way.
Our to-do list is getting shorter by the day, so make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to follow along once we hit the road.